Ever scroll through social media and think, wait, they make money doing that? Well, get ready because today's deep dive is all about unlocking your creative cash flow. We're diving into this awesome podcast called Creative Cash Flow, to uncover how everyday passions can become like serious income streams. And the best part, this isn't just for artists or influencers, this is for you. Imagine turning your love for baking into a thriving online business, or like your killer eye for photography into a freelance career. The Creative Cash Flow podcast, it really blew my mind with how many people are doing just that. The first thing that really jumped out at me was their definition of creativity. They totally flipped the script. We tend to think, oh, I'm not creative, I don't paint, but they said it's so much broader than that. They had this great example about a guy who made a fortune just by redesigning the packaging for coffee subscriptions. It wasn't about artistic skills, really. It was about looking at something ordinary and finding a way to make it, extraordinary.
What's fascinating here is the implication for you. This reframing means you likely have way more creative potential than you realize, even if you don't consider yourself, quote, artsy. And in today's world, that's incredibly valuable. Businesses are constantly searching for fresh perspectives, innovative solutions, and ways to connect with their audience on a deeper level. That's where you come in.
So it's not just about being able to paint a masterpiece or write a symphony, although those are amazing skills too. It's about problem solving, innovation, and bringing a fresh perspective to anything you do. And the best part is the Creative Cash Flow podcast, they gave us a ton of practical ways to turn these skills into actual cash. They covered everything from digital products like ebooks and online courses to building thriving online communities. Have you ever thought about creating and selling your own digital products?
One of the key takeaways from the podcast was the power of leverage when it comes to digital products. You create something once, and it has the potential to generate income indefinitely. It's incredible. They shared a story about a designer who made $10,000 in a month selling Instagram story templates. These were specifically designed for fitness coaches. Talk about niche targeting.
Okay, $10,000 in a month from Instagram templates. That's wild. It really highlights the potential.
Absolutely. And it gets even more interesting when we look at the world of membership communities. This model is booming because people crave connection and belonging. They're willing to pay for access to a community of like-minded individuals, especially if it comes with exclusive content, resources, or support.
Yeah, it seems like everyone has a membership program these days. But the Creative Cash Flow podcast highlighted that it's not just about jumping on the bandwagon. It's about finding your niche, your unique voice, your people. They talked about communities built around everything from fitness and writing to even niche hobbies like collecting vintage stamps.
Exactly. And what's remarkable is the diversity of creative skills being used to create and manage these communities. They mentioned photographers offering online workshops and critiques for aspiring photographers, writers creating accountability groups and providing feedback on each other's work, even chefs hosting virtual cooking classes and sharing their secret recipes.
It's amazing how many different ways there are to turn your passion into a community and then monetize that community. But for those of us who thrive on a bit more independence, the podcast also reassured us that freelancing is still as relevant as ever.
Totally. And with platforms like Fiverr and Upwork, it's easier than ever to connect with potential clients worldwide. It's not just about finding any gig though. The Creative Cash Flow podcast really emphasized the importance of building a strong portfolio, one that really showcases your unique talents. They have this inspiring story about a voiceover artist who started by offering free demos on Fiverr. She's strategically targeted indie game developers, built up a killer portfolio, and within a year, she was booked solid with paying clients. Now she's living the dream, setting her own hours, working from anywhere with a good mic, and of course getting paid to do what she loves. That could be you.
Absolutely. And what I found particularly intriguing was their discussion on two less conventional income streams, storytelling for businesses and niche content creation. Have you ever considered the power of storytelling in a business context? Honestly, I hadn't thought about it much before listening to the podcast. It sounds a bit unexpected, right? What does storytelling have to do with selling products or services?
That's what I thought too. But the Creative Cash Flow hosts, they explained how businesses are realizing that people connect with stories. And it's on a much deeper level than traditional marketing messages.
Okay.
They said that if you're a natural storyteller, someone who can weave words together to create compelling narratives, you can actually get paid to help businesses. You could craft their brand stories, write captivating website copy, even create engaging content for their social media.
Wow, so instead of just listing features and benefits, businesses are using stories to connect with their audience on an emotional level.
Exactly. And they said this is especially powerful in the world of marketing. Brands are constantly looking for ways to cut through the noise and grab people's attention. They gave this amazing example of a small candle company that used storytelling to increase their sales dramatically.
Okay, I have to hear this. How did they use stories to sell candles?
So instead of just posting like generic product photos, they started sharing the inspiration behind each scent on Instagram. They'd post a picture of a cozy cabin in the woods with a fire crackling in the fireplace and say, "This is what inspired our winter cabin scent." Or they'd share a photo of a field of lavender at sunset and talk about the calming, relaxing feeling they were trying to evoke with their Lavender Dreams candle.
That's such a cool approach. People weren't just buying a candle, they were buying an experience, a feeling, a story.
Precisely. And it worked wonders for their business. They saw a huge increase in engagement, brand loyalty, and of course, sales. They tapped into the power of storytelling, and it paid off big time.
I'm definitely going to be thinking more about storytelling in my own work now. It's amazing how a simple shift in perspective can open up a whole new world of possibilities. And speaking of new worlds, the podcast also dove into the ever-expanding universe of niche content creation, specifically using platforms like podcasts and YouTube.
Absolutely. But they stressed that it's not just about hopping on the latest trend. It's about finding your unique voice, your passion, your niche, and consistently creating high-quality content that caters to that specific audience.
They said it's about building a loyal community around your content and then exploring monetization strategies like advertising, sponsorships, even direct support from your fans.
Exactly. It's remarkable how many people are making a living, and a good one at that, just by creating content they're passionate about and sharing it with the world. They shared an incredible story about a woman who turned her passion for knitting into a full-blown business. She started a YouTube channel where she shared knitting tutorials, product reviews, and even just chatted with her viewers about her latest projects.
So she found her tribe, her people who love knitting as much as she did. Did she just stick to YouTube, or did she branch out to other platforms?
She actually ended up creating a whole ecosystem around her knitting content. She started a blog, built an email list, and even launched her own online store selling knitting patterns and kits that she designed herself. She turned her passion into a thriving business. It all started with a simple YouTube channel.
Okay, I am so inspired right now. But I have to admit, I'm also feeling a little overwhelmed. We've covered so many incredible income streams, from digital products and membership communities to freelancing, storytelling, and niche content creation. Where do we even begin? It's like, which creative paths should I choose? How do I take that first step?
That's such a great question. And honestly, what I was asking myself too, it's like all these possibilities are amazing, but how do you pick one and more importantly, actually take action?
Well, the Creative Cashflow podcast had some really reassuring advice for those feeling overwhelmed. Their biggest takeaway: start small.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Small steps feel way less scary than like leaping into the unknown. Exactly. They stress that you don't have to do everything at once. Pick one thing, just one, that you're excited about and focus on building something, valuable around that. They said to think about it like testing the waters. Create something, put it out there, even if it's just to a small audience, and get feedback.
So it's about testing, refining, and improving as you go, not aiming for perfection right out of the gate. Did they give any examples of what starting small actually looks like?
They did. They talked about a musician who was hesitant to dive into creating a full-blown online course. So instead, he started by offering a free 5-day email challenge where he shared a simple music production tip each.
Okay, I love that. It's a low-pressure way to share his knowledge, connect with potential students, and see if there's even interest in his teachings.
Exactly. And the Creative Cashflow hosts emphasized that building a portfolio, even if it means offering your services for free or at a discounted rate initially, can be incredibly valuable in those early stages. It's a way to gain experience, build confidence, and attract those first paying clients.
It's like that saying, done is better than perfect. It's more important to get started and learn as you go than to wait for the perfect moment or until you feel ready. Because honestly, when do we ever truly feel ready?
That's so true. They also talk about the importance of consistency and building a personal brand, even if you're starting small. Think about creating social media profiles dedicated to your creative work, starting a blog or website, or even just showing up consistently online and engaging with others in your niche.
It's about putting yourself out there and letting people know what you're passionate about and what you have to offer. It can feel a bit uncomfortable at first, but that's how you start to attract the right opportunities and build a community around your work.
Exactly. And the Creative Cashflow hosts reminded us that in the end, your unique perspective and personality are your secret weapons. Don't be afraid to let your authentic self shine through in everything you do.
I love that. It's not just about following formulas or copying what others are doing. It's about bringing your unique flavor to the table. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question that the Creative Cashflow hosts posed, and it really stuck with me. They said, your ideas have value. What's one idea you have, something you're passionate about that you could start exploring today? Even if it's just a tiny step, a little experiment, what's something you can do to breathe life into that idea?
That's a powerful question, and one that I hope will spark some inspiration and motivation for our listeners. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of creative cash flow. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying. You never know where they might lead you.
Trust in yourself, because every step you take, no matter how small it may seem, is an advance towards your dreams. Persistence is the key to transforming difficulties into achievements. Don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Bye until next time.